It's called the VGT. VGT from Jemit Ekal. Jemit Ekal is a local modder, so obviously this is also Malaysian made. It's been out for a while, a couple of months if I'm not mistaken. It came out before the Assets V2 made its appearance. So what is it? It's a brass. It's a 360 brass mod with a bottom fire switch. It's also named VGT, as in Vaping Gadget and Telescope. Vaping Gadget, Telescope, VGT. It's either telescope or telescopic, something like that. So it's a telescopic mod, but an exemption to the battery size is that it only fits 18490 and also the 18650 battery. So only two sizes. The shorter 18350 doesn't fit in this mod. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the outside. Let's start with the top cap. That's the top cap with 4 slots for bottom drawer Atties. The pin, you can see that it's also brass. The top cap is also brass. On the tube side, it's got a laser etching. There goes the name of the mod, VGT, and also the nice Atty logo with a vapor inscribed on it. That's also laser etching. This is the telescopic feature of it. Yep, silky smooth thread, very nice threads. You can even hear it. It barely makes a noise. It's very nice machining. Some vent. There's one vent hole on the side. I would actually prefer this to be on the bottom side, hidden in the switch, but yeah, it's fine as long as there's a vent hole there. It should be fine. Here's the switch, node inscription on the downside with a locking ring that is not reverse threaded. So it's not reverse threaded, it's normal threaded. Okay, so that's the mod as a whole. In the 18490 mode, it measures at about 82 millimeters tall. In the 18650 mode, it measures about 100 millimeters tall, so 8.2 centimeters and 110 centimeters long. Here's how it looks compared to a. Sorry, here's how it looks compared to a 18650 battery. Pretty. I wouldn't say this is too heavy. It's not that heavy. It's not that light either. Compared to holding a Crisis. The Crisis is slightly on the heavier side. It's got battery in both, so slightly on the heavier side is the Crisis, maybe because of the tube and the sleeve. All right, let's take a look at the bot part by part, and we'll go from there. Okay, here we are with the VGT now taken apart. Everything that I could remove has been removed. So as usual, we'll start with the base of the mod, which is the switch. This is the firing pin. This is the firing pin, and as you can see, it's got a spring right here. The spring is a bit hard to my liking, and it sits in the groove on the bottom pin and on the firing pin. This is the part that protrudes out from the mod, and as you can see, let me just talk about the whole switch assembly first. This is a locking ring. It's stainless steel and with a nice groove made into it, so you can grip it easily. Here's the looking at the bottom part of the switch. The deepest groove is where the spring would sit in, like right there. Yep, that's how it sits. And looking at the upper part, here you see the insulator. Nice to have this in case your battery label peels out, so you don't have a short circuit. What I like about the switch base is that this is a humongous amount of thread, so that will make a really good conductive surface. It makes a lot of conductive surface available for the switch. That's good. You rarely see this on other mods. And so if we were to assemble this, this is without the spring, this is how it would sit. And as you can see, this flange over here would sit inside this, and that is what I believe is making contact from the firing pin to the switch body. That is probably the conductive area. So this is probably going to where I apply some Noalox as well. It fits really tight. There's very little tolerance. You can't really hear it click. Very little tolerance. Doesn't really shake at all. Okay. And to cap it off, here's a brass screw. Here's a brass screw that connects with the firing pin. What I don't like about this is that it's a screw. It's not a flat top screw, rather with a normal Phillips type of screw. So this lessens out the surface area to the battery. So it might be a bad thing, might not be a bad thing. We'll take a look at it and how it performs in the performance test. Let me assemble the switch. So I will screw in the normal threaded locking ring. Put that in all the way. Put in the spring. So as you notice, there are no insulators in this part or either this part. So this spring is officially a hot spring, unless it is galvanized with a non-conductive metal, but I doubt so. So try to avoid getting a short circuit with this mod, because you don't want the spring to collapse. Then you will have to order another spring. So this screw in right there, and that's the mod as a whole. Really smooth. The sound you hear is the sound of the switch itself. Yep, actually the spring it's okay. It's not that hard. It feels pretty good for you to fire it. Now this is the bottom tube of the mod. Gonna assemble like that, and let's take a look at it. It's got some accents of grooving here and here, and again looking at the telescopic thread that goes into the outer tube. Nice thick thread, a lot of conductive surface that translates into a lot of conductive surface. That's good for the mod. And the vent hole, as you can see here, this is actually one piece. It looks like it's two piece, but it's actually one piece, so you can't really take it out. So this screw in over here, and as you can see, as you can hear probably, there's very little noise. The thread is super smooth on this one. Feels good, feels smooth. This is the outer tube. The outer tube it looks like a little bit lightweight. Let me show you the thread inside. There's a thread, and it also has the continuance of the groove on the outside. Here's the etching of the VGT inscription in close up. Here's the logo. So this thing screws in onto the rest of the mod. Again, it's really smooth. Look at that. It's really smooth. Very well done machining. High quality, top-notch machining. And it's worth mentioning that you can screw in, because this tube is threaded all the way from top to bottom. So it's worth mentioning that you can actually flip it. Not a problem. And that means you can actually also flip this. Oh no, probably that's the only orientation that it goes. Alright, That's the bottom. That's a Here's the top cap. A simple adjustable floating pin. So there's only one piece of it. Screw this into the screw the addy in, and then screw this in from this side. Here's the top cap with four grooves for the bottom draw addy. Nice solid brass, again, a thick amount of thread that makes contact with the body. The insulated piece over here. This is where the center pin would screw in inside. So I don't get it. Why could he make a screw like this and use a Phillips screw at the bottom, because this has a nice flat surface that promotes good conductivity, good contact with the battery. But he could have easily done this on the bottom switch as well. So this is the mod as a whole, and here's the fully assembled VGT. Uh, no concerns really at this point. The machining is top notch. The parts are well thought. It's very simplistic. However, it should nothing should break on this mod, I would say, except probably the thread on the center pin. Looks a bit fine, but I think it will hold because there's a thick amount of plastic that actually has to hold the center pin. So not really of concern at the moment. A nice looking mod. It's got its own identity with the accents that the modder has given it. Uh, the only thing I have to say right now is probably I would have I would have preferred that this locking ring is actually reverse threaded. It makes so much more sense to have it reverse threaded so that it tightens up when you actually want to lock the switch rather than when you want to let it go free, right? It makes a lot more sense that the locking ring is tight when you switch it off, so that any rumbles in your pocket doesn't accidentally free the switch. Okay, let's take a look at how it performs, and we'll also take a look at how it performs as is, and we'll also take a look at how it performs after the Noalox job as usual. All right. Before we conduct our performance test as is, I just wanted to say something I forgot. This mod is a 22 millimeter mod, so any addies that are 22 millimeters as well will sit flush with it. This is the Chaos, so 22 millimeters will sit really flush with this, and it also has the fine brush finish on the tube. Okay, well, this is not the addy that we're going to be testing today, so let me hook up my test rig real quick. All right, nice and tight. Okay, so 4.21 as expected from the unloaded battery. 4.21. Testing the mod as is, nothing done to it yet, with my standard 0.9 to 1.0 ohm addy. So let's fire this up. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, that's pretty good. Let me try this again. All right, 4.11 straight off the bat. 4.10, subtract that from 4.21, that makes it 0.11 voltage drop. Well, that's good. That's really good. I'm actually impressed. It's my first time measuring the performance of the VGT mod. I haven't even tried to vape it, but this is good. This is good number. I honestly think that no loxing this mod is probably not gonna do anything much, but we'll still do it anyway because Noalox will prolong the service interval that you need because it prevents the brass from tarnishing with a coat of grease. Uh, so when the brass is not exposed to air, it tarnishes very slowly. And once you apply Noalox to care for your mod, you might have to redo the Noalox in about 2 or 3 months, something like that. That's what I've been cleaning my mod at. When you feel the drop is just a bit too much, then you'll start you'll re-perform the Noalox job, take out the old grease and uh, put in the new grease. But yeah, 4.21 unloaded, 4.10 loaded with a zero point 0.9 Addy with my test battery AWIMR. So our result is 0.11 voltage drop as is, and the mod is new. Okay, let me just Noalox it out and see if it makes any difference. I doubt so. I'm just going to say it firsthand. I doubt so that it's going to help the mod because 0.11 voltage drop is already pretty much on the verge of the limit of any mods. Okay, let's see how it does with the Noalox job perform. Okay, now testing after the Noalox job. Let's recheck our unloaded battery voltage. Oh, still 4.21, 4.20. Okay, that's realistic. 4.20. Okay. Let me fire this up. And 4.09. Yeah, still 4.11. 1.1. Yeah, it is still 4.20 unloaded, 4.09 loaded, so that makes a difference of 0.11. I told you earlier that Noalox is probably not going to make any difference because the limitation now is coming from the battery itself. Remember that batteries are just like a car engine. It has its limitation. There's only so much it can deliver when it is put under stress. Okay, let me just proceed with what my concerns are with the mod. I don't really have anything against it. This is by the modder Jemit Ekal. I'm gonna just publish his page for a bit here. That's his page, Facebook, Jemit Ekal, and he is from the state of Johor in Malaysia. If you guys are interested in the mod, there are two groups that are there. There are two authorized distributors, so I'm just gonna display them right here. Price wise, I think it's a very fair 290 ringgit, 290 ringgit for the VGT. Without batteries, of course, it's just a mod at 290 ringgit. But I think what you get is a combination of something that is unique design wise. It's very well designed, it's very well machined, and it's very well put together. I see a lot of thoughts in here, but given the price of 290, I think this is among the best deals that you can get in Malaysia because there really aren't that many that can actually beat the price, the price, the quality, and the performance of this mod. Let me fill up and reaffirm myself of the 0.11 voltage drop. One thing I got to comment is that the throw on this switch is very minimal. You barely see it moving. Look at that. You barely see it moving, right? However, if you put it on a table, even with a heavy addy, it doesn't fire. Oh, you can. This is what my addy sounds like when it's fired. shooting mini O's. Sounds pretty good, right? Yes, it is. Because right now, as what it stands, it's firing at about 16.7 to 16.8 watts. That's a huge amount of power to a single coil eddy, and it performs well. What else do I have to say about this? The locking ring, I think that's a minor issue. I think Jemit can have it fixed in no time. However, with a normal threaded locking ring, it is an issue for me. It might not be an issue for you guys. It's just a matter of preference. But you wouldn't. I mean, the mods that I've been reviewing, price wise, they were sitting up at about 550, 4 something, 7 something. This at 290 is pretty much the best bargain that you can get. I would really recommend this to anyone who's tired of the littered market where there are too many clones now and you couldn't find something original cost like a bomb. This is something that is original, unique, and will not really burn a hole in your pocket. And what's important about it, it vapes nice, it performs well, it's not too light nor too heavy, it feels solid in your hand. But there's a bit of a problem I wanted to show you earlier. A bit of a problem. I couldn't get my Panasonic cell inside the tube because it doesn't fit in there. And it's not because the tube is crooked or what, it just doesn't fit in there. Let me demonstrate it to you. Take out this battery. Okay, look at this. Can't go in. So that is a bit of a bummer for me because I couldn't use my 18650 battery with this mod. But yeah, with an AW you can probably fit in there. As you can see, AWs have no problem getting in. It's not even tight as this one. This one couldn't even get in there. But for the price you pay and the thing that the mod that you get, the VGT Vaping Gadget telescope, is probably going to be the best out there. Let me just vape it and then we'll say bye-bye. I'm still getting used to the switch where it's really not moving. There aren't any obvious throw on it. And obviously the comment earlier on the screw being the bottom pin of the mod, it might reduce the performance. Well, apparently not. Apparently it has just enough surface area to conduct, and it's conducting really well. You saw it in the performance test, right? Yep, that is definitely 0.11 voltage drop. I'm still looking for the mod that is probably going to give me the below sub 0.1 voltage drop, but apparently happy to be here. 3 mods now coming from Malaysia who has scored really well on my performance test. The D's, the Chris's, and now the VGT. If you are still looking for something cheap and original, and if you're on a tighter budget or looking for something economical, original, and unique, I would really consider the VGT. All right, cheers and vape on.